Today's video is going to be geared more towards new gun owners. We're going to be discussing ammunition cases, the difference between brass casings and steel casings. So I'm going to just dive right in. Brass is the standard for modern centerfire rifle and handgun cartridges. And that's mainly because it's fairly cheap, it's malleable, it's easy to machine, which means that manufacturers can usually save money, which makes the ammunition less expensive. Um, its malleability makes it ideal for applications where controlled, even expansion is key. And when a cartridge is fired, it expands in the chamber, expelling all the gases out forward. You want as much of those gases to go forward as possible. Um, it expands, it completely fills and seals your chamber, and that makes it more accurate. Such. Um, Brass has physical properties that help with consistent expansion, which makes it easier to get better accuracy out of than steel ammunition. Brass also ejects easier than steel-cased ammunition, um, and it doesn't require lubrication like steel-cased ammunition. On the other hand, steel-cased ammunition is much cheaper than brass, um, but it also doesn't have the malleability that brass casing has. Steel is both harder and less ductile than brass, so while the cases are more durable in some ways, they are less resistant to damage when they are expanded in a firearms chamber, which means that you are not able to reload them like brass. You can take a brass cartridge and you can reload it. You can put another bullet in it, another primer, gunpowder, and you can reload it. You can't do that with steel ammunition because it weakens, it expands, and it's not malleable enough to get back into the right shape. On the other hand, if you have an older semi-automatic firearm like a SKS or an FAL, they actually do better with steel. Um, they can rip off the head cases, the head stamps when you shoot them out of a SKS or some of the older AK variants. Um, so case tapering is also a thing. Rounds with strong case taperings, like the AK-47 round, the 7.62 by 39, extract a lot easier than cases such as the 5.56 by 45 NATO, which is the AR-15 round. Um, so yeah, cons of brass. What are some cons of brass? Well, there aren't really too many, if any, really. It's fairly cheap to mass produce. It's malleable. It can be reloaded. The only real heads advantage that steel has is the fact that it is usually cheaper by a long ways. Um, so yeah, steel-cased ammunition in modern handguns is usually able to run just fine. It's super cheap. You can pick up a box of like Tula ammunition for around $5 depending what caliber you have. Just run it through your handgun or your rifle, see if it works. It could end up saving you a lot of money on training. And if you're storing ammo, it's not really going to matter if it's Full Metal Jacket or Hollow Point in the apocalypse. No one wants to get shot at with anything. So it's super, super cheap to store if you want to store a mass amount of ammunition for a very cheap price. Now, sustainability is something you can think about. As far as that goes, brass casings are able to be reloaded, but during a firefight, are you going to want to go back and pick up your spent ammo casings? It's another way to look at it as well. So there's nothing wrong with running steel ammunition through most modern handguns. It won't damage your gun. You may need to clean it a little bit more often because there is more blowback from the cartridge because it doesn't expand as well. But overall, you'll get similar performance from steel ammunition as you will with low-end brass ammunition.